We are honored to be talking with another individual who needs no introduction. Olympic gold medalist, WWE TNA legend, Mr. Kurt Angle. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Great to see you. We know you're doing so much with the Teen Challenge again this year at the Arnold Sports Festival, and you're here at the International Sports Hall of Fame. What do you think of the ceremony, Mr. Angle?
I couldn't hear your last comment.
What do you think of the ceremony here at the
This
Sports
is
Hall of
great.
Fame?
I'm just glad to be a part of it. Arnold's done a tremendous job the last 25 years, and it's amazing how big this has become. So, when you have guys that come in here, big names like Dan Gable, my lifelong, my childhood hero, it's great to see people like that are tied to it.
Yeah, like Bruno Sammartino, as we know, who was inducted last year. I know that was one that I know you really.
Yeah, Bruno's my favorite pro wrestler of all time, but obviously he's a guy to look up to.
Wow, that's amazing, Mr. Angle. I want to mention this. We were headed up here, we were talking to some kids who were a part of the Teen Challenge, and they just said what it meant to them to have you support them and how you played an impact on their life. I mean, Mr. Angle, what does that mean to you when you know that these events are getting people in shape and it's motivating them all through an event that you guys came up with?
Yeah, I believe the movement has helped tremendously. It's great when you hear kids today especially, they face a much bigger challenge because they have so many things they can do outside of fitness. But yeah, it makes a big difference when you're part of the reason why they do what they do. So it makes me proud. It makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something.
Well, you definitely have in a lot of different arenas of life, and that's well done. And briefly, Mr. Angle, we know 2014 is a big year for you guys. It's got some big events for TNA. We know there's a big event for WWE. What will the year look like for you when it's all over, Mr. Angle?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. My contract obviously comes up in September. I'm going to keep my options open right now. I'm very blessed to have a job, and I have options here in the upcoming future. I just have to do what's best for me, and that's what I'm going to do.
That's well done. And lastly, I just want to give you this. We last talked, and you were doing a lot for when wrestling was being dropped from the Olympics. You did a lot for that. Is there anything you want to say about that effort? And just I was talking to people who said that meant a lot, that you really stood up for the sport.
Yeah, it's a sport that you don't think would ever be considered to be dropped, but wrestlers like Dan Gable, coaches, legends that stepped up and did everything they could, and I did my small part. But when it comes down to it, there are way too many countries that love the sport, that care about the sport, and there are a lot of sports out there that probably don't belong in the Olympics, and you wonder why. You scratch your head and you wonder why they want to pick wrestling. But we had to change some things. We had to make it more intriguing toward the female base, and we also had to change some rules and just appease the IOC, and that's what we had to do. The bottom line is you got to make amateur wrestling more marketable, and they're starting to do that.
Well, let me just say this. We thank you so much for your time. Every year, Mr. Angle, last 5 years we've been here, you've always taken time to talk to us while you've been helping all the children here and the teenagers. We want to thank you for that, and I really genuinely wish you and your family all the best for 2014. I appreciate you every year.
Thank you so much. It's going to be a big year for me.
Thank you. Well done, Mr.
All right,
Angle.
thanks.
Thank you, sir.